episode of Hard Factor presented by the Barstool News Network. It is Florida Man Friday, June 12th, 2020. TGIF, guys. Thank God it's Friday, like no Friday before, really. I feel like it's been a long week. How you guys feeling?
Exactly the same. It's been a long fucking week.
Yeah, but I'm feeling like the world is turning again, man. The world is turning again.
I feel great. I'm like 12 days sober. I'm like a newborn.
Oh, look
person.
at you. You're the one person having a good week. Well, nice.
I'm having a great week.
I don't think you can say that you're 12 days sober.
I didn't want this week to end.
Unless you intend to be sober.
Yeah,
no,
you
I
just
tend to
haven't
drink my
drank for
face
12
off
days.
some. Hey, fuck you, Pat. I can say I'm 12 days sober if I'm 12 days sober. I don't plan on stopping drinking, and I'm not saying I'm an alcoholic. What I'm saying is I haven't drank in 12 days. That makes me 12 days sober.
All right, Mr.
And I
Bragg.
feel great.
All right,
Well, it's like
Mr.
I'm 1
Bragg.
day sober, but I'm going to drink tomorrow.
No, yeah, but you're more like 12 hours sober.
Everybody else in America is having a bad week. Can you just go along with it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Friday,
All right.
baby. Come on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, Pat, get us going.
All right, guys, I want you to meet Florida man and former Hernando County Commissioner Nick Nicholson, or Slick Nick.
No, Nick
as
Nicholson?
I like to call him, Nick Nicholson. I always think to myself, when parents do that, are they being real smart or real stupid? You know, is
No,
it
they're
laziness?
fucking with their kids. They're
think?
fucking like Steve Stevenson.
That's a dick move.
It's a
Yeah,
well, and it's also
double.
kind of cool. I mean, like you're gonna remember Nick Nicholson.
Jeff Jefferson.
Yeah, whenever I met a William Williams growing up, I was always like, man, at least I'm Will Smith, but I could be William Williams.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
God
bad.
you aren't. All right,
Yeah.
guys. Anyway, meet Slick Nick. I dubbed him that. No one else is calling him that. Trademark. A couple of years ago, the 69-year-old had it all. He was a mover and a shaker in the county-level Republican Party. His engineering business, Nicholas Engineering Associates, was booming, and he was ruling Hernando County with an iron fist and enjoying all the spoils associated with managing county government, guys. And by the spoils, of course, I mean strippers, drugs, and owning and operating a brothel out of his home.
Yeah, that's classic.
Look at Nick squared.
Yeah, he's making the best of it, boys. But that all came crashing down like a house of cards after a respectable 6-year run when Nicholson, which, yeah, by the way, Nicholson described as, quote, the 6 happiest years of my life, when he was arrested and charged with giving room and board to prostitutes in exchange for sex and running a brothel out of his Spring Hill home.
That's typically how the operation works. So
All good things come to an end.
Yeah.
Yep, I have something you want. You have something I want. Let's trade. Nicholson was a hound dog and a frequent customer of a booming titty bar called Icon Gentlemen's Club. And he really became a part of the community there, guys. Hung at the club a lot. So much so, as these things do, one thing led to another. And before he knew it, stripper prostitutes Mindy Baker and Valerie Surratt and both women's respective husbands and boyfriends took up residence at Nick Nicholson's house for a period of more than 3 years, trading sex for rent and also the use of Nicholson's credit card and his county-issued vehicle. So,
Damn.
Well,
setting up for some trouble here, guys. Valerie Surratt told deputies Nicholson would pay her $100 for sex on Tuesdays and $200 for sex on Saturdays, which can only mean one thing.
Yeah, he was ready. He's like us. He's like, it's Friday. Woo! Yeah, I get it.
Saturdays
Anal.
were for
I get it.
anal. Yep, exactly. We're on the same page. Guys, after all said and done, Nicholson had forked over $20,000 during the course of their arrangement, or approximately 133 bangs. The other woman told police that
that's
Nicholson...
really like not expensive. Well, I guess she's getting the room and board too. But.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really surprised when I saw the 20K number, and then I, averaged 100 and 200 and divided it by 20K. I saw 133, and it seems he should have
like
gotten
a weekly
more.
allowance.
Seems like more bangs for 20. How many bangs are you going to trade for 20K?
Well, I feel like it's a pretty low fee. I mean, besides the fact that the house exists, I mean, the room and board is really the X factor here, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's his power move. Anyway, guys, the other woman who lived there told...
Is that math correct? Shouldn't it be 150? It should be 150 bangs if he did every Tuesday for 100 and every Saturday for 200. That means he got more Saturdays in
300
than
a week.
Tuesdays. If it was,
I didn't want to look up how many Tuesdays or Saturdays and there's
he
a leap
skipped
year
some
in there.
Tuesdays. Tuesdays weren't as important to him.
No.
Yeah, it averages out to 133 bangs, guys. The other woman who lived
He's
there told
busy on
police...
Tuesday. Not sure if he's going to fit it in.
He never missed a Saturday.
Yeah, who set up this pricing structure? Tuesday it's 100, but Saturday...
I'm assuming it was him. He was the proprietor, so I'm sure he set the rates.
Yeah, he really made her work for it on Saturdays. Guys, the other woman who lived there told police that Nicholson made her his, quote, sex slave, which is kind of a bummer because I'm guessing that means she didn't get paid.
That's more in line with what, you thought the arrangement was going to be with him from the start.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So here's the problem, guys. Back in 2018, there were warring factions within the county Republican leadership of whatever county this is, and Nick's vote made the majority in the unethical alliance that he had with his Republican constituents against the other Republican constituents. And after a night of smoking crack and banging his harem, Nicholson would get loose-lipped and spill the beans about his unethical alliances, controlling the Hernando County government to his whores. And when a domestic violence call caused the fuzz to start asking questions, the hookers, they just let it all go. They sold him right down the goddamn river, and he went to jail. He disappeared for a couple years.
It's hard to have that much fun and not tell people about it. Ask like Dan Bilzerians of the world.
It's hard.
You gotta tell someone how great Saturdays are if you're Nick Nicholson.
Yeah,
many powerful men have been brought down by pillow talk.
Whores will lend you their ear.
They will do that, but never trust them, right? Anyway, guys, it's 2 years later, and Slick Nick has, quote, put his personal problems behind him, and they've since been resolved. And he wants his old job back. He filed paperwork on Monday to run for his old seat and reclaim the glory that he so sorely misses. And on that note, guys, I'm announcing my official endorsement of Nick Nicholson for Hernando County
You want him back?
I want him back. I'm endorsing him full on. He's running. Yep, in November. And I think he should run on the motto, everyone deserves a second chance.
Mm-hmm. But don't you think he's going to go right back to his old tricks?
Yes.
Dude, I don't give a shit. It's a county. I don't live in Florida.
Pat, what I'm saying is this: shouldn't it be on a pro-prostitution platform if he's going back into politics?
I'm doing it on a pro hard factor platform because we get this guy elected. We're gonna have a great Florida Man Friday story 2 years from now. See what I'm saying?
That's true. That's
It's like planting a seed.
Nick Nicholson's of the world, what they do on their own time is their own thing. But if they're beholden to like all these people that they owe favors to, they shouldn't be in like
right. I'm not sure if I stand behind this without.
Well, then, hey guys, you should back the Democrat.
I don't endorse him.
Back the Democrat. Back the Democrat. It's going to be a battle.
Okay.
Well,
we'll see what happens.
I feel like once you
I don't know.
run a
Vote
brothel
Nicholson.
out of your house, you can't.
Vote Nicholson.
You can't go back. All right, guys. This one comes from DAE Goon Squad. Thank you to all involved in that venture. And this one has some layers. So 41-year-old Sean Nicholson of Jupiter, Florida is a pretty cool dude, he thinks. So cool he decided to let a 12-year-old drive his SUV and told her to speed because he wanted to be a cool dad. I mean, that is some very cool dad shit, if you ask me. Only problem is that 12-year-old is not Sean's daughter. And letting a 12-year-old you are probably trying to have sex with, speed in your SUV comes with a number of penalties.
Yeah,
a few penalties
Wait,
for Sean.
so he told the cops that where did his cool dad defense come from?
Well, I'll get to it. He's just a loser, basically, Pat. You see, Sean claims the 12-year-old is the daughter of one of his friends, and her other young friend were staying with Sean for a little while. Yeah. So
wait a minute. Couple problems here. This wasn't his kid.
It wasn't his kid.
Correct.
Wasn't his
And
kid.
neither of the kids were his kids. Is that what you're saying?
Yep. He just had two 12-year-olds staying with him for a while.
12-year-old girls in his car.
Please tell me
makes
they dug a little deeper than the speeding. Did they dig a little deeper?
Unfortunately, no, Mark. No.
Okay.
One of the charges was not trying to have sex with a 12-year-old. So Sean told officers that the 12-year-old asked him if she could drive his Jeep, and Sean thought to himself, that'd be cool. And then he was trying to be like a cool father. This is his words. Maybe it was the booze he admitted to drinking that made him think that would all be very cool.
But it's not his kid.
Wasn't his kid. Nope.
Look, this is cool, man. This 12-year-old wants to ride my Jeep.
This guy's a fucking loser, I'm telling you.
Yeah, that doesn't mean, just because it's not his kid doesn't mean that he can't be a cool dad. Okay, don't take that from Sean.
Yeah.
Does that make it better?
That is a slippery
Does that make it
slope.
better when he does that make it better when he fucks her?
Right.
Hold on, we don't know that happened.
Okay, allegedly. In my mind, right now, allegedly.
That's the first thing I thought, Mark, as well.
Okay.
His plans, his cool plans unraveled when an officer spotted the 12-year-old and the 41-year-old man making an illegal U-turn at just past midnight. So the officer followed to see the car reach speeds of 85 miles an hour. And when the officer finally pulled the 12-year-old over, she quickly snitched on that loser Sean, saying that he told her to speed. So she just threw him right under the bus, probably because she wanted the house to herself. So
The officer was like, who did, sweetie? Your dad? She's like, he's not my dad.
no, just some loser that we've been taking advantage of.
He's an old loser we tricked into let us drive in his Jeep, and then I lied to you and told you that he's the one that said it was his idea.
But
Yeah.
what 12-year-old really manipulates the 41-year-old in that scenario? Unless he's like
this
unless he's like
situation.
unless he's got mental handicaps.
No. He's got a dick and a fucked up brain, bro.
Yeah.
That's what he's got.
That's what I'm. That's
Yes, absolutely right,
but
Pat.
the 12-year-old can't manipulate the 41-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
unless the
Oh,
41-year-old
yeah.
unless the 41-year-old has the brain capacity of a 12-year-old.
He's a loser, and he also has
he's-
probably the brain capacity of a 12-year-old.
But he's an adult that probably manipulated the girl.
Mark,
is
I'm
what
not naming
saying.
any names, but there are people that we went to high school with who at 12 were doing this.
12
Trust.
is sixth grade, bro. The girls started getting real frisky in 7th. No, 12 is sixth grade. Guess again. 12 is sixth grade.
Well,
Yeah,
or a really
or 7th.
young 7th grader.
12
Yeah.
is sixth grade.
What do you
My
want
son-
from me? It happened. It happened.
No 6th grader manipulates a 41-year-old man.
The 6th grader with tits does.
No, he's trying to fuck these girls, and
I normally would think that.
Probably
Well,
is.
nobody's denying that.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to fuck him, but I think that they also have him wrapped around
All right,
their
this is
little
disgusting.
12-year-old
I'm sorry.
finger.
I'm gonna stop interrupting. This is disgusting.
This is Florida we're talking about. Talking about Florida. Rules are different down there.
So Sean is being charged with child neglect, allowing an unauthorized person to drive, and causing a minor to become a delinquent for buying the girls vape pens, which he says they told him to buy for him. He says they told him to buy them vape pens. So these girls are a little above their pay grade.
I was smoking cigarettes in 6th grade too. A vape pen is different than like trying to like drive a car at 85 miles an hour. That's not something a 12-year-old wants to do.
Hey, I was
They want to
doing that.
smoke cigarettes. No.
I took a vehicle
You guys
out
are
at
wrong.
12.
I don't know what it is you don't want to believe here, Mark. But
I don't believe that the girls here are these total badasses that are like totally winning in this scenario.
No one's winning in this. No one's winning, Mark.
They're getting harmed by this
losers, yeah.
monstrous.
yeah, everyone's a loser in this situation. But this guy is getting told what to do by these 12-year-olds. Let me tell you.
Yeah, he is.
All right, well that's that story, guys.
Jesus fuck. Okay, guys, I got a good one for you here. 63-year-old Joseph John Musso of Gulf Breeze, Florida, got in trouble again. This time for walking completely naked through a Woodlawn Way neighborhood last week. Just
Yeah.
bare-assed. So basically, Joseph got the cops called on him. Musso got the cops called on him around 8:30 p.m. last Thursday when a homeowner who happened to be in Pensacola at the time noticed that there was a completely naked man on his front door security camera. That was a nice surprise for him. It just butt cheeks, and the guy was about 2 feet from his door. To add to the problem, he had his two children and a babysitter were the only people inside, and he was all the way in Pensacola.
Oh,
So
shit.
not
So
much
he
could
got
do
like
there.
the notification on his phone or something?
Yeah, and then it turned on, and it was like a 63-year-old.
That's like a horror movie.
Naked outside his house where his kids.
You don't
were.
want to see that. Yeah.
No. So he frantically called the cops. Obviously,
You know,
And you also you can't text your kids then and say don't look outside because the first thing they're gonna do is look outside.
Yes.
correct, Pat.
Yes.
Yeah, it's tough. That's a tough scenario. Correct.
Also, I'm very nervous that I could become. I'm overconfident now that I'm a MeUndies member, and so now I'm the guy who's accidentally taking too many ventures outside the house, almost nude. So
I haven't worn a shirt outside to get the mail or bring the trash in or out for the entire.
I
quarantine.
apologize to my whole neighborhood. I'm sorry.
Yeah, shirt's fine.
I do the same
Yeah.
thing, Willie, in the backyard. It's okay.
So basically, what happened, luckily for that house, was when the deputies got there, the kids and the babysitter didn't even know. They didn't see him. So the deputy was asking, getting information from them, and then all of a sudden he got a second notification from a different neighbor in the neighborhood that said, "Hey, there's a naked man out here on my porch with a full-blown erection."
Oh man.
So the deputy just walked right outside and left the babysitter and the kids, and then lo and behold, he could see across the street a naked man with a noticeable erection from across the street.
Yeah. That's a hell of a notification to get on your next door app. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So there Musso was standing in the driveway of a home next to a red pickup truck, and he was now holding a plastic bottle of cooking oil. So the deputy went over there and started chasing Musso around the truck in circles as Musso refused to be arrested. At some point, the deputy caught up to him and wrestled the cooking oil plastic bottle from his hands. And then when he went to cuff him, the problem was it was torrential downpour. So Musso, with the cooking oil in the rain, slipped out of the cuffs
slippery.
and started running down the street on the street butt naked as the cop was chasing him down the street.
What a dangerous scenario at full mast with oil and water. One slip on that concrete and oh my God, that is scary.
Pat, it gets a little more dangerous because we're gonna add electricity into it because the only way he could get him down was to tase him. So the deputy tased Musso in the rain. And then he apprehended him. Everyone ended up okay, and Musso told the deputies that he receives sexual gratification by being naked in public, and he was not aroused by the sight of any specific individual or individuals. It's just being naked in the rain in particular that arouses him.
He probably shouldn't live in Florida.
Yeah, right. He's getting horny all the time.
Every day at 4 o'clock in the summer.
Every day.
Why do you think I moved here, officer?
I love the summers, don't you?
What the?
What was up with the oil?
Well,
He's jerking off with it.
He was about to jack off.
No. Hang on. He also said this was not his first time walking around that particular neighborhood
shit,
naked,
buddy.
And that he'd been out there for 2 hours before the cops got to him.
Yeah, I like the rain in this neighborhood. Got good rain here.
He said he uses the cooking oil to rub all over his legs while he's out and naked in the rain because that adds to the gratification. So he just gets all slippery in the rain, walks around completely naked.
Oh yeah, that's his defense mechanism because he knows the cops are coming.
Oh my God. Musso faces several charges now, including loitering and prowling, lewd and lascivious behavior, resisting an officer without violence, even though the erection probably could have added the violence, and exposure of sexual organs. And that last one is not one you want on your record. That could be considered a sex crime, I believe. Once the word organs is added, you're in big trouble.
Yeah.
A naked crime that's not so bad as like public urination. But if you were to tack on public urination with organ exposure, that's the bad part, right? So he's going to go away for a while.
I'm not mad at this guy. I mean, he's just living his life, man.
Musso, though, he was staring. There was kids inside the house, right? So
Yep.
it was at night.
So
Imagine
oh man. Well, no, Pat. It started at 6:30. He was out there for 2 hours.
He's out there at dinner time.
It was still
I love how
daylight.
he bragged about how much time he had gotten in. Like,
He's just checking his Doppler, looking at the sky.
But could you imagine looking out the window and you see a guy, a 63-year-old man, in a full-on sprint with a full erection, naked, and then a cop chasing him down the street?
I've already been out here for 2 hours.
You learned some
That's
things.
incredible. That's incredible.
How'd you get the oil out here, sir?
Yeah, I brought it.
Musso. Oh, man.
Don't
What
have
a story.
pockets.
What a story.
That was good.
All right, let's move it on. I'm going to call this section, We're Not in Florida Anymore, because it's a non-Florida man story. And technically, for this one, I guess we're not even in America anymore, because we're inside the Chaz. The Chaz stands for the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone in Seattle, where,
Chaz.
yes, the Chaz, where SoundCloud rapper Raz Simone has led what appears to be a mostly white army of vegans to take over 6 square city blocks of Seattle, including one police precinct inside that fortified enclosure.
This is what Tom Cotton was referring to in his tweet, I think.
It's pretty funny.
No, I mean, we talk about Escape New York a lot recently. This is like Escape New York, except with all pussies instead of felons.
Hold your judgment on the Chaz. I want to hear the
With
truth.
all failed musicians and horrible artists.
It is all nonviolent so far, correct,
Yeah.
Mark? The Chaz, which is walled off entirely and constantly under a self-imposed armed surveillance, demands that Seattle police and the court system be abolished entirely. No more police, no more courts, and there's 30 other demands, including some that may extend nationwide beyond Seattle and Washington.
Demands.
So,
Chaz.
yeah, so of course, Trump is threatening to send in. I've also heard that there's multiple groups inside the
3
Chaz,
dogs.
and that,
Trump is threatening to send in 3 dogs.
yeah, or anything he wants, everything but the kitchen sink, as is tradition.
You don't need much to shut this thing down.
Yeah, Governor Inslee is saying just that, saying stay out of it. It's a SoundCloud rapper.
Right.
And although the Chaz has remained violence-free so far, you are subjected to constant stop and frisk by the armed Chaz guards who are attempting to validate that you are not undercover cop in their midst and that you actually need to go to your house or business, which is inside the Chaz. So the Chaz is an authoritarian police state established to protest the police.
Yeah, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they want to do.
Yeah, it's a completely authoritarian police state. And there's also rumors that businesses are being shaken down mob style. That's not really important since they set up a fascist state to combat fascism. Doesn't make much sense.
Hold on. This is a common form of protest in America. This has happened many times before. It happened with the occupation of Alcatraz by the Native Americans. It's happened in at least
But these
2
are
or
just
3 other
vegans
times.
in Seattle.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's-
they're vegans. Yes, they're pale.
Six city blocks downtown. Usually this is like done in like the countryside.
Sometimes, but they took over an abandoned police precinct. And Will and I were going back and forth on text last night. It's like, these
Why
guys
was
are
it
taking over.
abandoned?
And I kept checking Twitter, and it was like, oh, they're just watching a documentary while social distancing. Like, it seems like...
I don't think anyone thinks that, you know, the Chaz people are like very violent or destructive. The problem is they've taken over
I think
6
it's hilarious.
city blocks downtown. Like, what if I owned a restaurant downtown?
Oh, that's what I was saying.
Obviously,
You better serve vegan food. Or
Well,
you're gonna be
obviously
hard
they're
up
not.
this
They
week for
don't. They
rent.
don't have any. None of them have any fucking money.
There
They're
would
not
be
going to tip.
There would be some
Like-
shots being blasted
And no
out
one's
of my
going to walk
office, I feel
through
like.
the Chaz group to get to my restaurant.
I'm not giving up my location, my house to the Chaz.
There's
Personally.
a bunch of losers.
Yeah, they don't give a
Personally,
fuck.
I
I'm
bet they'd
not
ask
giving up my
nicely,
shit
though.
to the Chaz. Yeah, well, they could be as nice as they want. I think it's a joke. And also, I think it's an authoritarian police state to protest the police, which to me is very counterproductive. Anyways, taking it outside of Seattle, but still in the state of Washington, Washington State University released a study that suggests that cannabis, a combination of THC and CBD, the sweet ganja we love so much, can reduce almost half the symptoms of PTSD in the initial study. More trials are needed, but hey, that's a great sign. Maybe that could help some of the healing of this self-imposed trauma
That's
we put on
awesome.
everybody.
It's great.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, PTSD has been known a long time that cannabis could potentially help, but this is, I guess, one of the first
That's
studies with,
interesting
like,
though.
long-term
And, you
use.
know, like because weed can go one of 2 ways. It can make you more paranoid or something. Yeah, good. I'm glad.
But I think we have so many ways, different ways to consume it now, and so many ways to
Yeah.
refine it and know what you're taking that it's like, you know,
Sure.
Yeah.
people
Well,
used to be
and
afraid of it. Now you could be prescribed it as medicine. It could work for
Right.
you.
And it's lightly psychoactive, and you probably need your brain to be tickled a lot if you've gone through a lot of trauma, like people suffering from PTSD. And finally, keeping it in the Pacific time zone over here in Nevada, where we have enough cowboys to keep out the granola eaters and keep them on the other side of the Sierra Nevada mountain chain. Thank God.
no Chazes. No Chazes. in
No
Nevada?
Chazzes yet. Thank God.
That you know of.
That I know of. They better not. It better be down in Vegas if they do one. More good shit is actually happening over here. Governor Sisolak presented a plan on Thursday to pardon tens of thousands of Nevada arrests for less than 1 ounce of marijuana. So doing the right thing in the wake of all of this unrest having to do, you know, with police brutality
That's great.
in their interactions
That's
with
great.
minorities. So I think every state should follow that lead, legalize it, expunge the records for people who had.
Get 'em
you
out of
know-
jail.
Yeah, it's
They got to do
bullshit.
more. They got to do
Get
more.
them out of jail. Get them
But
out of
that's a
jail.
good
Get
start.
the people out of jail because, like, right now there are good things happening, but they're mainly on like the aesthetic level of removing statues and like Confederate flags.
Yeah, it doesn't
Great.
do anything.
Great. That's just like, but that's like a paintbrush stroke. That's like very like aesthetically pleasing and like a headline. How about you do something for the people that
This
are
is
in
action.
jail
Yeah.
for nonviolent marijuana possession and dealing? Like, get them the fuck out of jail today because they're still in jail. Like, how
Yeah,
about that?
if you've made millions of dollars in the legal weed business, you need to form a lobby with your other legal weed business people and get the people the fuck out of jail because it's
they
not
need
fair
to get
for them
the
to be in
fuck out
jail
of
while you're
jail.
profiting.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Speaking of paintbrush strokes, have you guys ever needed perfect gift but didn't know what to get?
Oh, look at this.
all the time.
Look at this segue.
Yeah, maybe like a big important anniversary, birthday, maybe graduation. I don't know. It's kind of challenging. What are you going to get? Something special? Something's going to last a long time. Yeah. Well, luckily for you guys, our sponsor this week is paintyourlife.com. What do these guys do? Well, here's what they do. They take your pictures and they turn them into paintings, legit ones by real artists. Paintings that'll be handed down to your grandchildren's grandchildren. Your ugly mug will be freaking out for generations, honestly. Like that old picture of your great-grandmother that scares you in the dark. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, guys, yeah, paintyourlife.com. They send you an original painting, world-class artist, done from a photo masterfully. If you want to give a truly meaningful gift, you got to try paintyourlife.com. Get a professional hand-painted portrait created by any photo at a truly affordable price, guys. Quick and easy process. Got a hand-painted portrait in just 3 weeks, which is actually a pretty quick turnaround, if you ask me.
There's nothing more thoughtful than a hand-painted
3 weeks
portrait.
3 weeks is nothing. That's like
It's really
of a
nothing.
quarantine.
Yeah, no, literally that reflective tracksuit I ordered from China, it's 2 more weeks, and I ordered it 2 weeks ago.
This thing is going to smoke it. It's going to be here.
I can't wait, guys. It's going to be sweet. I mean, it's going to be worth it. Anyways, you can send any picture, yourself, your children, your pet. You know what would be really great? I bet your mom, Mother's Day, or your dad for Father's Day would love a painting of all of their children to hang over the mantle. That'd be fantastic. So go to paintyourlife.com, guys. There's no risk, because if you hate it, if it sucks, which is not gonna, but if it does, they'll refund your money, guaranteed. So like, what do you have to lose? You could even do it and just have the painting for a couple days and say, I don't want it, send it back. Try it. Who cares? So go to paintyourlife.com. Get 20% off your painting right now, 20% off and free shipping. To get this special offer, guys, you got to text the word FACTOR to 64,000. That's FACTOR to 64000. Text FACTOR to 64,000. That's Paint Your Life. Celebrate the moments that matter most.
Nice. All right, guys. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission has put out a hit on some invasive toads that are killing pets and likely getting Florida residents high as fuck. The cane toad, or bufo toad, which leads me to believe that it's got some what they call bufotoxin, which I think is the DME or DTE, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, let's take a trip
DMT.
to Florida.
DMT, yeah.
Bufo me.
Yeah, bufo is invading southern Florida, and these warty, venomous bastards are disgusting. When provoked, these toads produce a milky substance that, if ingested, can kill a cat or dog in as little as 15 minutes. So, hey, Mom, look, Max found a toad.
Or a Spanish photographer, right? That listens to a porn star,
Yeah,
right?
I think the bufotoxin is very similar. These ones are a little bit different. That was a Colorado River toad, I think. But, yeah, so, Max is suddenly foaming at the mouth, then Max is sleeping, then, you're crying. According to Toad
Max
Busters...
is a dog?
Yeah, Max is a dog.
Yeah.
Okay. Exactly. I Googled top dog names, and Max was one of them. According to Toad Busters, which is a company responsible for breeding, releasing, and then recapturing these toads for profit, these toads have grown in numbers since last year. The toads.
This company's called Toad Busters, and their job is to grow the number of toads in the
they're
environment?
failing, Pat. They're failing miserably.
That's just a cynical joke I told Pat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Pat, there's no predators for these bufo toads.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of
What about
stoners
all the
out there.
pythons? The pythons can't eat a bufo toad?
I think
That's in the Everglades. Is this in the Everglades?
Well, that's in southern Florida, which is where they are.
No, I don't think so.
What about
Everglades
a viper?
north.
Something. They got too many snakes, right? Alligator.
Nah.
I don't know. I'm sure something eats them, but it ain't.
Meth heads?
They're growing. Yeah.
If a snake eats this thing that's not a python in the Everglades, then it probably dies. So it probably tells the snake friends to stay away from the bufo.
We need to get the animal doctor back on here.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. The herpetologist. So the toads, which are native to South and Central America and were introduced to cane fields of South Florida as a pest management system, have now become the pests. So if you see a toad in Florida that's over 4 inches long, it's probably a cane toad. And if your dog comes into contact with one, wipe out their mouth with a damp cloth. Don't rinse their mouth with water, because it could spread to their throat and you could kill them, and immediately take them to the vet. They're just telling people to kill these things.
The Everglades are definitely in South Florida.
Yeah.
You're correct.
Okay. Close to.
So maybe the pythons can get them.
Yeah, I don't know if they're not natural. I don't know what the fuck the pythons.
What if they're
are.
working together?
They're eating gators.
Oh no!
bufo toads-
They're riding the pythons.
You can't do
Yeah.
that. You can't have toads and pythons working together. Then we're doomed. Then you'd have to bring the squids up from the sea to combat them.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and they're
Yeah.
hard to find, those squids.
Yeah, they're elusive.
All right.
Just another thing in
All right.
Florida.
Well,
Ugh.
Well, that's that.
you want to
But
you want to transition straight into Everglade pythons because that's my story.
well, no, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
downer
go
of a
predict
story.
it. I'm gonna do a
Okay.
quick predict it. Hey, you know what's better than
Okay.
poisonous toads killing your dog? That's right, winning money with Predict It. Go to predictit.org/promo/hardfactor20 to get a free $20 on us. Why have you not laid money down on the Biden VP market, or which party will win Texas in 2020? Only 68 cents to buy Republican right now. This is free money, people. What are you waiting for?
I don't know.
Also, Michigan Democrat was like 75
Mm-hmm.
cents, and people took that tip. We were starting to get the stats of who signed up and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Michiganites dropped some coin.
Lot of
and
coin.
I'm assuming it
Michiganders.
was on. I'm assuming it was on Michigan to go Democratic. So good job, guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I will say Trump has a scheduled stop in Texas, a campaign rally, which is not normal this close to the election. So I don't know why he's coming down here, what kind of polling data he's getting. But
Yeah, why do you think? Because he's gonna rally. The
Yeah.
stadiums are filling up.
Because he wants to shake the stadiums.
You remember Houston, Pat? Well, maybe we'll.
that was
maybe we'll
that
get
was not an election year.
You guys ready? You guys ready for these super old dudes to start getting the country hyped up?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
You saw the new Biden video, right? Unbelievable. Anyway, predictit.org/promo/hardfactor20. Honestly, if you've not tried it, go on in. If you don't like it, just take the free 20 and run. But I think you'll like it. Predictit.org/promo/hardfactor20.
You're gonna like the way you bet.
You're gonna like it.
Hey guys, let's just go straight to pythons. The cat's out of the bag, right?
Yeah.
So the Python Bowl champ, that's right, the Python Cowboy himself, Mike Kimmel, caught what could be a record-breaking Burmese python in the Everglades this week. It was a female python that was over 17 feet long and weighed over 150 pounds, and it was fucking enormous.
Impressive.
I wouldn't hunt a snake a tenth of that size. I don't know what he's doing, but let's take it to the internet to see what the conservationist who helps humanely capture and euthanize the invasive python species had to say about his solo catch. And he said on Instagram, yesterday's solo at #Everglades Islands Python hunt was another one for the books. At 8 a.m., I headed out into the swamp on my 14-foot John boat in search of an invasive man-eater, and at 11 a.m., I found her. She wasn't coming without a fight, lol. I noticed her almost immediately. As soon as we crossed paths, I could barely contain my excitement. She definitely was not afraid of me, and I started to slowly cruise through the vegetation as I carefully walked next to her, trying to gauge exactly how large she was. I knew going for her head first would be the easiest and safest capture method, but I couldn't turn down the chance to grab her by the tail and dance with the devil herself.
He's a
Psycho.
showman.
Interesting. Yeah, as soon as I grabbed a hold of her, I sealed my fate, lol. No turning back now. Long story short, she bit the shit out of him in the arm and hit an artery, and he said he lost over a gallon of blood. And there's a video next to his Instagram thing that shows him just spewing blood from his arm. He said he almost died and passed out, bringing her back to the boat because she weighed
Cowboy,
150 pounds. And he was losing blood in the heat. And then he shot her in the head because he didn't have a bag big enough to bring her back and euthanize her. So he mainly put her out with a gun to the head. And then he went to the hospital.
Yeah, I mean, so two things. If you're out by yourself and the thought is you want to dance with this python with no one else around, you are a crazy son of a bitch.
The Python Cowboy
and-
is insane. Not the first time we've talked about him on the show.
Yeah.
Because he won the Python Bowl.
And two,
What's the
you
other
could,
thing?
You could get some. Imagine how much money you could get if you got like the world record python boots, like those. You can have someone be like, "These are world record python boots."
Yeah,
Did you see
people
the
with
picture?
big feet pay extra for big shoes.
You see the picture? You could make purses for the whole village. If you want to see more of the Python Cowboy, while you still can, I'm guessing you can watch him on YP's season 2 of the Barstool Outdoors Show, which debuts June 25th. I say this because he was in the entire promotional video with YP, letting him get bit by multiple pythons on purpose. Season 1 was fantastic, so I would check out season 2 of Barstool Outdoors on June 25th.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, boys, it's the end of the week, so you know what time it is. It's time to go for the voicemails and reviews. And Hardo Hive was buzzing this week with the voicemails. We had like 9 or 10. So thank you very much for all the submissions. We can't play them all. So I'm going to go through a rundown of a few of them first, just that I took notes on. Then we're going to play 4 of them. So first up, Darren in Maine says he forgives us for the YouTube videos not having music. Thank you, Darren.
We took it out on him a little hard, especially me. I was like, "Yeah, you didn't know they couldn't have music, dummy."
Yeah.
So
But
he left a nice.
He admitted he's in backwards Maine where they get things last. So that was
Sorry, Darren. Thank you for
a
listening.
concession. Yes, thank you, Darren, and I'm glad that you're liking the YouTube videos. Florida Cole, we've got 2 Coles this week. Florida Cole is concerned for Dave Portnoy's well-being down in Florida. Something about how Dave is hiding out in a family compound, something along these lines.
He
No
doesn't
idea.
seem to be wearing sunscreen either. He's getting a nice collar, but
Looks like
you gotta wear
he's-
sunscreen out there.
He's having a good time. Looks like he's having a good time to me.
Yeah, that's all I know. Yeah, I've seen him smiling a lot.
Wish I was Dave this week.
Seen him smiling a lot. That's all I've seen. So hopefully, Cole, there's no reason to be concerned. Now, Cole from Philly, he left a great couple of voicemails. Too long for us to get to. But he clarified that the Confederate flag did not make its way back into pop culture until much after the Civil War, about the 1950s. And so that was when the Confederate flag came back into all the Southern state flags. And so it was a throwback vintage thing when it got brought back in the first place in the 50s. Weird choice to bring it back then, but let's toss it. Now.
Yeah, he mentioned that he doesn't think it's heritage, not hate. He thinks it's hate, which he's preaching to the choir. I think.
A couple good old boys looked at each other in the 1950s and said, "We got to do something about this progress."
Yeah, we need a symbol.
Look, we dealt with this on yesterday's podcast. We're a Stars and
Yeah.
Stripes podcast. Stars and Stripes
That's right.
all the way. Back
That's
to
right.
back World War champs. Stars and Stripes. USA. All right. So, that Philly Cole, thank you very much. And then Sam in Kansas, the last one I transcribed. He asked us a great question. He wants to know if we think John Brown was a hero or a terrorist. This is a guy who was a militant abolitionist in Kansas. And then a bonus question. Anybody that we think today who, assuming you're going to say that John Brown is a hero, not a terrorist, who you would look at today as maybe a terrorist in the current sense, or somebody's calling them that, but could be a hero in the end.
So John Brown is Harper's Ferry, right? And one
He's
of the
like
problems
Nat
with John-
Turner.
Yeah, one of the problems with John Brown is he killed 5 guys, or he had his people.
Right,
when
he was a
there, kill
militant
5.
abolitionist, so they used violence, I believe.
He shot first a lot of times, which I'm not a big fan of. He was very ahead of his time as a white man that was very into getting abolition, getting black rights and civil rights. So I mean, I like what he was trying to do, but he was very forceful.
Yeah.
I think
I'm gonna say
Assange.
hero.
Yeah, I mean, he's more hero than not, but it's
When
not
you're talking
he's
about
like
the way
he's like an
American history
anti-hero.
goes. Right, yeah.
He's
yeah.
like Deadpool. He's like an anti-hero. Like he's like remember the movie Deadpool? He's like shooting
yeah.
people in the head, and then the X-Men are like, "Hey, stop killing everyone! Just injure them." Yeah, he's like Deadpool.
I think Julian Assange will maybe looked at one of those guys.
Assange. Interesting pick. Yeah, I would say definitely some of the people with the privacy stuff, Snowden. But I don't know if anybody really looks at him as a traitor anymore. But yeah,
Are you comparing Julian Assange?
No, like
to
a
John Brown?
modern day, like maybe
no, he's
looked at
saying
as
is
a
anybody
terrorist.
who's looked at as a terrorist today? His follow-up question was:
yeah,
is there anybody who's looked at as a terrorist today who
Julian Assange is such a wimp.
It's tough to say that question, but anytime you're dealing with something as horrible as humans owning humans, all bets are off in terms of.
I still can't believe that Pamela Anderson was fucking Julian Assange. What is
right?
that?
Was she?
That's
Is
hard
that
to
true?
believe.
Yeah.
That's the rumor.
At what point do you just jump? She got
No, I'm
hepatitis
pretty sure
C,
that
like-
was for sure true.
No, it's
Yeah,
self-admitted.
she self-admitted.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Good for
All right,
her.
guys.
She's
She
something.
fucked both Tommy Lee and Brett Michaels and had a sex tape with each of them.
Oh, she's got a
that's
hit list.
Prolific.
She's got a hit list, bro.
And Kid
All right.
Rock.
All right, now we're going to play the voicemails we can get to this week. First up is another one from Sam Wexler. He's got a Florida Man Friday news update for us.
Hey, Hard Factor boys and Hardo Hive Hardos. It's Sam Wex from Indiana again, back with another story about the dumbest criminals in the world. On this day in 2017 in Lakeland, Florida, one would-be thief, and possibly an aspiring car mechanic as well, was caught trying to steal 15 bottles of motor oil and 30 DVDs by shoving them all down his pants. He was apprehended almost immediately after waddling through the front door of the 7-Eleven store, coming face-to-face with Polk County Detective Phil Ryan. The detective had been sitting in his car watching the suspect struggle for several minutes to fit all the stolen goods inside his pants and didn't exactly have to break a sweat to keep up with the alleged lawbreaker. First of all, I'm no expert on cars, but I don't think you can put 15 quarts of Pennzoil in one car all at once. And second, who the heck still goes out to the store to buy movies on DVD, and from a gas station no less? Local news outlets in Lakeland dubbed this not-so-subtle criminal the 7-Eleven Baggy Pants Bandit. Anyway, I'm Sam Wex from Indiana, and this was another edition of This Week in Dumb Criminal History.
All right. Thank you, Sam.
I love it.
So
I'm going to show my age here, Sam, but I'm going to answer all your questions. Jinkos, Grave Digger, and we used to get DVDs and CDs from gas stations.
Oh man, I bet he got some deals on those DVDs. If he just gotten away, he would have had weeks of entertainment.
and he could have changed his oil a couple times over.
For years.
Yeah.
Sam's a college student, right? Aspiring broadcaster.
It's all set.
He is. Yeah, he's not like aware of the old school gas station.
He's got a great voice though.
Yeah,
That's where you used to
Smooth
pick up your
tones.
French Montana mixtapes, just to give you an example. So
Right.
If you wanted to
You
get the
didn't
French
just-
Montana.
You didn't just download them to your tablet. Or
Nope.
or
If
however
you wanted
it
to go
works
get the
today.
little Boosie mixtape, go down to
Yeah,
the
it was-
Circle K.
It was a different time. All right.
Grave Digger
Next
is a monster truck.
Next up is our boy Kevin, also originally from Northern Virginia. He's got an interesting story for us.
Hey, this is Kevin from New York. I'm a transplant from Northern Virginia, much like you guys. And I was listening the other day, I heard you talking about Mayor Jacob Fry from Minneapolis, and it's definitely Fry. Went to middle school with the guy, and just thought, nice little fact here for you. He's also from Nova, Oakton High School. So there's a nice little fact for you. Just thought I'd clue you in on it. Maybe you'll give him a little bit of a break for being a fellow Virginian. All right, take care, fellas. Keep up the great work.
Fuck the Cougars, Hornets for life, bro. Hornets for life.
Oakton.
Oakton.
Kevin.
That explains
More like
a lot.
Jokton.
We used to beat them by 30.
We love
Kevin.
Mad TV at Oakton.
Yeah, Kevin didn't know that the Hornet hatred still runs deep.
Yeah, technically Oakton is in Herndon. Technically
Oakton-
Oakton is a Herndon
Oakton-
address.
Yep.
Oakton was our exact same high school, like carbon copies. I think they were built the same year, except Oakton was a much richer neighborhood. So they got all kinds of upgrades to their high school that we never got, and it was just all much richer kids. So definitely like Chip, that's not going to endear us to Jacob Fry.
Who was that
No.
basketball player who we
Beat
used
them 5-1 senior year.
Yeah, who was the guy we
5-1.
ripped on and then he like punched me in front of his dad as he was leaving the stadium? It was the real tall white guy. What was his name? He was like a big man on campus. Fuck.
The guy that played football at JMU.
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we had a rumor he fucked a plastic doll.
Yeah, I remember that rumor.
Alleged.
It was a bag, wasn't it?
Allegedly.
We spread that around
Allegedly.
town.
Fuck the
Allegedly.
Cougars. Jacob Frey.
So to answer your question, no, fuck Frey and Fry. But not you. You're cool. You're cool.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
If you went to Oakton, you're cool. Just you.
Yeah, Kevin, thank you for listening. All right, next up, we got one. Let's see here. Brett. Brett's got a story for us here.
Yo, this is Brett from New York, long-time listener. Big fan. Y'all helping get through some tough times right now. Graduated college 2 weeks ago, and I'm now sitting in the employment lines. My third time right now trying to call you. It's more of a me problem. I wouldn't blame the phone. We'll say, though, listen to these hot takes about the Xbox and the PlayStation. I do have to say, I do see now why Will has always been my favorite. Xbox Ride or Die. Do not know what you're talking about with this PS5. It's some Shutter Island Ward C psychosis you got there if you're invested in PlayStation. We'll crush it on the Xbox. You can friend me. I'm known as the Burtwell. Love the show, guys. Thank you for keeping a smile on my face, and stay healthy, and you stay safe down there.
I feel like Oakton
We will.
Oakton kids love Xbox too, you know?
Oh, yeah, it's a
I guess-
major
I
Oakton
guess-
thing.
Yeah.
I would say more Sterling kids. Oakton kids
Yeah.
probably
Definitely
have,
a Sterling thing.
Oakton kids have both systems.
I lean
but,
Sterling for sure. If you
Sterling
were
or
to-
Xbox
If you were
kids.
to
Well,
attach
the
a second-
Langley kids have both
Manassas.
systems.
Yeah.
But I will say, I guess there are a few good people that play Xbox, as that guy's one of them.
Yeah.
Dude, Brett's the man. He's going through a tough time, Corona lockdown and all that stuff, affecting his personal life, obviously. As our
Tough
many
time to
Congrats on
graduate.
graduation, man. That's awesome.
Tough
Good for
time.
you.
Yeah, congratulations. And
But what a year to
congratulations
graduate!
everyone.
Yeah, congrats,
Tough year to
congrats,
graduate.
and yeah, if you're going through tough times like Brett, let's focus on the consoles where Xbox is not horrible. Xbox 360 was great.
It's no
I
PlayStation.
will say, I looked at the PlayStation 5 stuff today. I went back because we were working, but I went back and looked at the games. Graphics don't look that good. I mean, they look good, but they don't look like significantly better than
So
PS4. So maybe
Did I hear a wrong rumor that there's going to be a game where you can play as a house cat?
Really?
That's what I
a
heard.
rumor.
I don't
Well,
know, Mark.
I don't know. Japan loves their cats.
I don't know.
I don't know.
What
I'll
about a
get that
VR
game.
though? Would you rather get a VR than
I would-
either of these
I
new
would-
ones?
I would absolutely dominate that game.
Oh, you'd be so good at it. You'd never come back.
Yeah.
Could you see
Hey,
any
Brett, DM me
gameplay?
and
Go
Yeah.
ahead, Pat.
I was going to say DM me and tell me what it's like to graduate.
Can you see any gameplay in these previews? Because the thing I saw on PlayStation 5 is just like they show no gameplay anymore. It's just a bunch of like movie trailers.
It's all trailers.
Yeah.
It's all and the worst part about that, Wes, is that the trailers have better graphics than the gameplay.
Right, of
so
course.
I wasn't
They're the
super
cinematics?
impressed.
Yeah.
I wasn't super impressed with the trailers.
Yeah.
Apparently not
Nah,
a great
got
unveiling.
it.
It just is a fancy looking thing, and there's no more disc drive on it. I don't know. The Xbox is actually like I'll tell you, underwhelming PlayStation reveal. So also,
I have a feeling the techies are going to bash me for that. And maybe it's one of those things where the TVs have to catch up.
Is there a sex game for the consoles yet? But like, remember Leisure Suit Larry? Like that
well,
was
that's what
on-
I'm saying. VR, they have to have some VR. Like, let's get VR's got to be in the discussion, right? I mean,
I hope so. With the auto blow and the
Sony's-
VR goggles.
Sony's got a VR, but they didn't mention anything with the PlayStation 5.
that's an expensive setup, Pat. Yeah, it's okay. All right.
I'm
Hey,
an
we've
adult.
got-
I can afford it.
well, that's good for you. That's yeah.
It's
You're
cheaper
paying
than a
for that.
girlfriend.
Well, barely. All right. We got one more. It's the return of Bob the Ripper.
What's up, boys? It's Bob the Ripper. Just calling into an update and just wanted to say I really appreciate all the advice everybody gave last week. Turns out the only advice that I should have listened to was that of Wesley. Because Monday I did finally poop in the office. I saw one of the women use the bathroom towards lunch, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to leave because I had a lot of work on Monday. And I heard the other woman who works in the front say she's running out to lunch. So I thought, this is my opportunity. I'm going to light it up. And I did. And she came back about 5 minutes later. And as soon as she walked through the door, she said, smells like a dog's asshole in here. And then she went directly towards the bathroom. And the glass door of my office looks right at the bathroom's door. And I saw her open it and jolt her head backwards like someone punched her in the face.
She
And
must
I
have
sent
seen.
Will,
Yeah, yeah.
a
A
DM
stink
with a picture,
fist.
but there's now 4 Febreze bottles in the bathroom. So thanks for the advice. But yeah. All right. Have a good one, guys. Love the show.
She did everything to call him a piece of shit.
Yeah, that's terrible.
She went and stocked it with Febreze.
Oh, my
That's
God.
fucking incredible.
Oh my god!
I told you.
Bob the
That's the
Ripper. New advice: get a new job.
Yeah.
You can't
Who
poop
took
with
a
the
shit
women
in
there.
here? It wasn't me. It wasn't Karen. It
No,
wasn't
that's an
Kyle.
aggressive. That's an aggressive coworker that does that shit.
I did
Yeah.
mention poopery. It's like this little 4-inch, 3-inch spray bottle.
You know what Bob the Ripper got hit with there? Is it the classic somebody says they go to lunch and you think it's an hour, but they're going to get to go. That happens all the
God.
time.
Bob, you just got to own it, man. Now you're
just
exerting
forgot to
dominance
pee.
over her. Think
Yeah,
about
maybe
it.
you-
that way. Think about
maybe-
you're dominating her. You own
Maybe,
it.
maybe you can
Can't
get
get fired
fired.
for
Well, maybe you can get fired, and then you can collect like in sue or something, just because you had to take like a shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
You want that in
know,
your permanent record?
I kind of think that you do have to keep asserting yourself now.
Yeah.
No. Well, I mean, if it really smells like dog shit in the whole office when you take one shit, maybe
That's
maybe
alpha,
not.
though.
I mean, you've
Just
already
stinking
asserted it once.
Just stinking up the office.
He knew
You've
better.
You've already asserted it once. I don't know. I mean,
It's
Here
a
I go.
bodily function.
You make like a noise, like.
Yes, that's what you gotta say. Say her name. Say her name while you're going.
Yeah. Hey, Karen, how you doing?
Does this smell like dog shit?
Hey, Karen, it's lunchtime.
Yeah. Hey, Karen, lunch is coming up. I'll see you at lunch.
It's lunchtime, Karen.
Maybe
Ask
take
her if
30
she can
minutes
print
this time.
something for you when you're in there.
Sorry, Bob. I mean, yeah, you're just gonna have to deal with that one. You're kind of in the middle of a quagmire now, and you're just gonna have to work your way out of it.
You can do whatever you want now.
Yeah, exactly. The world is your oyster. All right, 5-star reviews. Remember, you got to leave 5 stars if you want us to read it on air. Okay, that's all I'm saying. All right, first 5-star review is from Twisted Fang. He says, different point of views. How about you try to bring on someone from the right on the show, such as Ben Shapiro, Steven Crowder, Candace Owens, DC Drano, the Hodge twins. I'm not sure who all those people are, but we hear you, Twisted Fang. We had Donald Trump Jr. on a while ago. If you haven't watched that one, go back and watch that one. Several other conservative guests, and we will get back to the conservatives. I think we have one coming on next week potentially. So
Yeah, I mean, Siraj is conservative. Cassie Dillon's conservative.
right, Cassie did the lone conservative. Right.
If you look at the history of our guests, I think we have slightly more conservatives than Democrats. We also have some libertarians, some big libertarians. The guy got 3rd place, Austin Peterson. We had John McAfee. Yeah. We get everyone. We're trying to balance who we get. So we actually have, like Will said, a conservative and a Democrat lined up for next week, I think.
We had the Persistence on one time.
That's right, Scott Presler.
Yeah,
doesn't get more
guy's
conservative than
fucking
Scott
loser.
Presler.
This guy's been Twisted Fang's been listening for what, a week?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Well, I
and
think
also,
I think he's
Twisted
just
Fang.
saying. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Willie.
I think he's just saying, hey, we're like a metronome. We go boop, bop, back, right, left, right, left. I think he's saying our metronome's on the left. He wants it.
Okay,
Well,
fair
I
enough,
promise we'll get a conservative because there's more of them on the internet that are outspoken on it. So there's more conservative options. So we'll get it. But we're also,
they
we're
are
trying to keep it even.
Generally more willing to talk to us. Sorry.
Getting everybody, baby.
We are. All right. Next 5-star review is from, oh, man, I'm not even going to try. Q.
You got it? You got
Nope. Q.
Come on.
Nah.
I don't think it means
Come on.
Q-
You got it.
No,
Quit it.
nope.
Nah, I'm not even going to try. It starts with a Q. It's a cool looking name. It says, awesome show. Great job. Weird shows on Adult Swim aside. Great podcast. I've been listening since the COVID pandemic started, and I'm only now beginning to figure out everybody's voices. Well, Pat's voice at least. Good job, Pat. Keep up the great work. No better way to absorb the news than this podcast, and we agree with you. Quite sufficiently. Thank you.
Nailed it. Hell yeah.
What's the Adult Swim comment about? Do we talk about Adult Swim shows?
I don't know.
I don't think we
have.
have.
Maybe we have an Adult Swim vibe. I'm not sure.
Gotcha. Okay.
Well, I liked Adult Swim. Big fan of it. Used to smoke
Eric
a lot of pot
Andre,
and watch
Aquatine.
that. in
I think we
college.
probably subtly dropped Adult Swim shows. I think that's what he's saying. I don't know. Who knows?
I know I don't.
I watched a lot of Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and it
Great
scares
show.
me.
Squid-
scares me how
Squidbillies?
much I'm
Meatwad.
looking like Carl now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyhow,
Ah, shit, man. I didn't think about that. That's kind of
Stone
true,
Cold
Willie.
Lock of the Century of the Week.
yeah, exactly. No, yeah, okay. All right, 5 stars. 5 stars from Blue Strickland, and they say, "Shh" is the title. My favorite part of the show is when my boyfriend Michael, oh Michael, you got name dropped, is listening while he showers in the morning, and I wake up to "Good morning." Echoing from the bathroom, I can confirm that it is not a good morning because I wake up like a true demon cunt every time, but I love him and you guys anyways. Thanks for making the news tolerable. And Blue Strickland, I'm sorry for screaming in your ear every morning.
That's a hell of an alarm clock.
Yeah. I'll get you going.
Yeah, that's why we do it. We like to do it. Now we're even screaming at the beginning of Hard Factor Radio on Sirius XM, and that's going to do it for Hard Factor on the podcast this week. Thank you, as always, for listening. Be sure you do sign up for that free Sirius XM trial. They're lasting forever, months and months now. So it's like just free to come listen to us, catch our new radio show, all separate from the podcast, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday on Power 85, Barstool Radio, Sirius XM. Go get that trial. Be sure to watch our video podcast on the Barstool blog. Ooh, you can watch it there, or YouTube if you'd rather watch the show than listen to us. Follow at Hard Factor Mark, at Hard Factor Pat, at Hard Factor Wes, and at Hard Factor Will to find out what we think about when we're off air. You might be surprised. But most importantly, have a great fucking weekend.